here. Jump to the green.
Here they come.
Green, 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 all rolling.
I want to start this episode off by saying I'm going to try to keep this a shorter video, maybe, but it's not looking too hot. Because, I mean, I don't know, did anything interesting or rather significant happen this week in the world of NASCAR? That's heavy sarcasm because, of course, it didn't. So let's get into it, starting with the truck series, as we normally do. Truck series, very, very, very standard mile-and-a-half truck series race. Yeah, I mean, there's really, thankfully, there's not much to talk to on that because there's so much to talk to about everything else. Truck series race in Charlotte, good stuff. I enjoyed it. And then the Xfinity series race, also very good. Love the patriotic paint schemes for Charlotte. They're one of my favorites. Justin Allgaier should have won that race. But hey, I'm not upset that Chase Elliott won. Doing a little one-off Xfinity race in the Hendrick car. Like that. But same thing. Xfinity series, still the peak NASCAR series, still the best series. Multi-groove racetrack, low grip, cars wrecking, cars passing. I mean, what else do you want? Perfect race length, like right on the 3-hour mark. It's good. It was good. Tempers were flaring on and off the track. It was like the most quintessential NASCAR race that NASCAR could be. And now that the other two series are out of the way, we can do the Cup Series drama. Where to start? I suppose we'll just start with the fine for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., $75,000 for punching Kyle Busch in the face. Here's the thing that I don't understand. How does Austin Hill turn Cole Custer in the Xfinity race, right? Admittedly, like, wrecks him under caution, gets a points fine and like $25,000. But on the flip side, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was not even the one who intentionally got wrecked. Kyle Busch intentionally wrecked him, gets no penalty, gets nothing, right? Ricky Stenhouse Jr. punches him, gets $75,000 in a fight that they will then use in tons of promotional material. Like, we still see previous fights till this day. I don't think that my opinion is outside of the norm for most of the people involved in this world. Pretty much everybody I know, any media source, really anywhere that you can source an opinion on the event, will say that this is ridiculous. It's let them fight. Now, should crew members and other people get involved? No. I think it should just be the two, just the drivers. Let them duke it out. Hockey rules. First guy to the floor. Fight's over. Easy. Easy. So that, yeah, ridiculous. Plenty of other prominent industry members have chimed in and also agree that it was a very ridiculous penalty. But hey, that's not the most ridiculous thing that NASCAR did this weekend. Moving on to Kyle Larson, and attempted to do the double, but Mother Nature had other plans on that. Motorsports Christmas was ruined by Mother Nature. Sort of. I mean, the F1 race happened, F1 at Monaco. F1 had no passing, but still, I mean, it's F1 at Monaco. I watched it. I like it. It's just not every race has to be a barn burner. Sometimes we just enjoy it for what it is, and I like watching them drive around the street course as fast as they possibly can. It's entertaining. Indy 500 got delayed due to weather, and Kyle Larson actually ran really, really, really competitively, which was awesome to see. And then, unfortunately, had a speeding penalty that ended his race-winning opportunities. I still don't think he would have won, maybe, but he definitely was, like, he could have been in, like, the top 3. Like, he could have been in the situation at the end of the race there, which would have been awesome to see. But it's still a very impressive drive. The Indy 500, an impressive event. I have made the commitment I will be going to the Indy 500 next year, like, without a shadow of a doubt. I will be going. And yeah, I mean, it's just a NASCAR show, so we're not going to talk about Indy for too long. But I mean, obviously Kyle Larson was there, so it's on topic, okay? Uh, yeah, fantastic race. And Kyle Larson then hops in a helicopter, takes a helicopter to the airport, takes a plane to Charlotte. And as soon as he lands, Mother Nature then starts to rear its ugly face at the NASCAR race, which then got delayed and never restarted. Yay! So poor Justin Allgaier drives that car from dead last up to 13th. A great job. Kyle Larson was definitely on. It was on for him to win the Coke 600 for sure. Very disappointing that race did not get restarted. I know that there's a lot of controversy on whether or not it should. It's hard for me to say because it's all just rumors, and what do I really know about it? So I don't want to harp on it too long, but it is disappointing that it didn't get restarted. I think that they should have a rule where every crown jewel race has to finish. Like, even if they have to run it the next day, especially in Charlotte, it's like 5 minutes from the shops. Everybody could have just gone home and came right back. I could see if it was like a California race, like in like Phoenix or something, right? But I mean, it's right there. It's easy. But hey, that's just, I saw somebody tweet out that as a solution, and I'm 100% for that. It is one of the races that we have circled on the calendar for the whole year, and it's just a shame that it didn't get to play out, especially because of the uniqueness of that race length and the sun setting and the track conditions changing. You definitely get like a lot of comers and goers, and it never ends how it starts, which I appreciate. Yeah, sadly did not get restarted. RIP. But yeah, Kyle Larson never gets in the car. That's the end of his double. And should he get a waiver for the playoffs? Yes. Who cares? I mean, it's the playoff system's a gimmick. This was all kind of gimmicky. It's all just good for the sport. Oh, it's favoritism. Just NASCAR just needs to make a rule that if previous, this should have been a decision that was made long before he even committed to do the double. Like, NASCAR should have said, hey, any driver who wants to do this, clear it with us first, and his waiver should have been pre-approved, well before he even, months ago. It shouldn't even be controversy. It should just have been laid out, already done. But it's still not. There's still not a decision on whether or not he gets a playoff waiver. Not that it really matters, because if he doesn't, he'll just race his way in anyways. I know it's his eligibility in the playoffs, but I don't know. That would be very silly, and I see no reason not to. And that should just really be the end of that discussion. I don't think it needs to be picked apart that much. Yeah, Coke 600 was good for what it was. And then now the ending of the week saw some two big news bulletins out of the Ford camp. The closure of Stewart-Haas Racing, which will affect 4 teams and around 300 employees, which is massive. I don't think this has ever happened recently in NASCAR. That entire four-car team that was backed by a manufacturer to such a degree just disappears. I mean, you're talking about Gene Haas, one of the most prominent figures in motorsports ever, just across the world in terms of teams and money, and Tony Stewart, who is one of the greatest NASCAR drivers of all time. I think, and this is just pure speculation, I have nothing to go off, this is just my opinion, I think that their heart isn't in it to learn this new car. I think that Tony Stewart already didn't like NASCAR. I don't think he ever liked the next gen car, and I think that they have reached a point where the necessary amount of commitment and resources to become competitive to the standard that they hold themselves to is just not something that they want to do anymore, because they simply don't like the way the new car races. I'm surprised that they didn't just withhold Cup and just stay in Xfinity. That is very interesting to know. I'm wondering if maybe their Xfinity team's just going to get rebranded and the Cup Series is just disappearing. There's a lot of things still left up in the air. Stewart-Haas is closing, but that doesn't mean that they might just be maybe Gene Haas just rebrands into a new team. I don't know. There's a lot to still see how this plays out. I know Front Row already acquired a new charter. I wonder where they got that charter from. but that still leaves 3 other cars in the wind, so we don't know where they're going to be. So I like Stuart Haas. It's a shame to see them go. No, you never want to see a powerhouse team exit out of the sport. More teams, more parity. That's always going to be a benefit. So yeah, just all around a very sad notion, but also it could potentially be something good. Maybe some good comes out of it. We don't know. Who knows? We will only see with time. And then the very, very last thing that got announced this week was Clint Bowyer is going to run a Truck Series race. Was that my bingo card? No. Is it cool? Yeah. Yeah, he's going to run the Nashville Truck Series race, which should be a really good time. I think it's... I always liked Clint Bowyer. I liked him in the car. I saw his last win in person at Martinsville in 2019. That was great. The snow-delayed race, imagine. And so yeah, it's really exciting about that. But yeah, a very busy week in the world of NASCAR. Some very good races. I don't think that because the Charlotte race ended early, it means it's a bad race. I'm upset because it was going so well, and I was like, oh man, this is really good. Like, I want more of this. And some of you might note that I never mentioned the fact that Donald Trump came to the racetrack, and that's on purpose because I just don't really want to bring that into this space. So anyways, that is a lot of information condensed into what I was aiming for to be 10 minutes. But if there's anything else that I missed, I don't think I did, but if there's anything I did or you want to expand, we can always get a conversation going down in the comments. And I also am very active on Twitter, so you can always follow me there. And until the next episode, I will see you guys then. Peace.